So we're continuing in the mitzvah number 95. I apologize, we had an interruption. Okay, Taharu v'yanefu Aaron. That's how the Aaron elevates the Kohanim. And the Leviim terem yitenu kolam be'echal Hashem, before they're allowed to come and sing in the gathering in the holiest of Hashem. אמרתי גם אני אגיד עצתי וארוך התנצלותי נגד זקניי וארחץ בניקיון כפיי. So the Rabbi says, I'm going to elaborate a little bit about this mitzvah as other sages have, and let's see, maybe we could cleanse ourselves through learning this. טרם יעלה בית השם, ידוע הדבר ומפורסם בינינו. העם מקבל המצוות כ70 פנים לתורה. You have to understand how the nation, we are fulfilling the mitzvot, and how we learn them, and how we discuss the mitzvah. Here's a mitzvah where it could be a little bit above and above our understanding, even to come and contemplate, give a root, give a purpose of this mitzvah. But I'll try anyway. The Rabbi says there are 70 ways to learn it all. Each mitzvah has a lot of roots in it, a lot of explanation. And each root has branches of many. Each one gets us a great cluster of fruits. And there are many clusters in order to give a good feeling for the hearts. Yom Yom Yotziu Perach LaShokdim Alehem. Daily, there's people who are toiling more and more in the Torah that come out with more explanation. The more you study, the Rabbi says, the more you have an understanding. And constantly we could see even better vision of the Torah and understanding it. How deep and the depth of understanding and the wisdom of the Torah. In the end, we understand there is no way a human flesh, could get to the level of understanding the reasons of the Torah. As Shlomo HaMelech said, even this wisest man in the world, Shlomo HaMelech said, I try to understand the depth of the Torah and it's still too far from me. With that understanding, with this knowledge, you're still prohibited to say, it's too much for me, let me do something else. Chas v'shalom. It doesn't matter. The produce, the fruit that comes out of it, you're to eat whatever you could grasp. Whatever grasping that you could get, each one, the grasping that you get, that's so sweet. It could be at different levels, but you have not permission to stop toiling because the knowledge is too vast. There is a matter that you can't elevate through that. You can't get to the final fruit. Still, you're not exempt from continuing what you could get. And me, says the Rabbi, I am small of knowledge. Still, I try my best to go into it. And I'll continue relying on what my rabbis taught me. Even if you are not 100% clear to yourself what you're repeating from the words of your rabbi, but still you don't have a clear 100% understanding. Still, it's a mitzvah to expand on it and ponder it. Sheneimar, as it says, Garsa nafshi l'ta'ava. It says in Tehillim that my soul is elaborating, we should say. My soul is elaborating for this desire. Dabni, my son, says the Rabbi. Ki kol asher yagia etzel Hashem itbarach ba'asot bnei Adam kol mitzvotav, that all the mitzvot that people do and that they come before Hashem, enedu rak shechafetz Hashem itbarach lehitiv lanu. All the mitzvot that Hashem gave us, the purpose is to Hashem wants to do great for us. B'yot ha'adam muchshar u'muchan b'asiyat otam ha'mitzvot lekabel ha'tova, az yetiv elav Hashem. As much as a person is striving to serve Hashem, to do as much as possible, that's how Hashem repays him back. Therefore Hashem showing us a goodness, how to be good, the right path to be, how to get to the good. For the path of just, the right way to live is through the way of Torah. For that is the way that a person will live good. So we see that a person who fulfills everything in the Torah, it befits him to receive all the greatness from Hashem. And any Jew, who doesn't prepare himself to fulfill the Torah properly, the reward is bad. He gets to the bad places. Because he understands what Hashem wants from us, and the person says, regardless, he does whatever he wants. ופרשה אחת נכתבה בתורה להודיענו עיקר זה לבד, והיא מה שכתוב בסדר והיה עקב. The Torah tells us, one parasha specifically, tells us specifically in the Torah how a person has to behave. In Parashat Ekev, Dvarim chapter 10, pasuk 12-13. V'ata Yisrael ma Hashem Elohecha shoel me'imach. And now you, Jewish nation, should know, what is Hashem already asking from you? Ad letov lach, the whole purpose is Hashem wants to do good for us. Klomar, eneni shoel me'imach davar be'asotcha mitzvotav, rak sheratzah betuvo agadol le'etiv lach. Hashem says, meaning Hashem doesn't want to strain us. He's not putting a strain on us or restraints on us. All he wants is to do good for us. As it says later on, for everything belongs, Pasuk 14 it says, everything belongs to Hashem. The skies, the land, and everything, anything that's there. Really, he doesn't want us to fulfill the mitzvot because he needs it. He wants us to fulfill the mitzvot so that he could do good for us, that he could grant us more and more goodness. You're going to say, so just give me goodness. Why are you making me earn it? Very simple. We already discussed. The purpose of our birth, the purpose of our creation of this world was we don't want to get nothing for free. That's how we made a deal with Hashem. That was the deal before we came down to this earth, to this world, before you were born. Before Hashem put your neshama into your soul, into the body, the deal was, I want to earn my keep. I don't want to get it for free. So what's the purpose? So what's the accomplishment of Hashem? When we were in Shamayim, we were enjoying with Hashem presence for free. In the heavens, everything was for free. So we started crying, we want to earn it. Now Hashem put us down here, we started crying. We don't want to earn it, we want everything for free. That doesn't make sense. So you have to go through this world. So Hashem is telling you, Torah is the guide. Here, I'm giving you a Torah as a guide. Torah, word guide. Follow the guide and you'll have a peaceful life. Many rabbis are suffering, they follow the guide. It's true that not everybody who follows the guide gets everything good, but that's not the purpose. That means there is something there that either, again, one more time, the Neshama before he's born is showing everything that's going to happen to him. And so a person lives, he chose for himself the suffering. So in that case, even though he's just not patur, he's not exempt from not following Torah anymore just because he's suffering. That was the reason to get to that level of enjoyment in the Olam Haba, the true enjoyment that person chose on himself. That even though he's going to be learning Torah, and even though he's going to be everything doing good, he's going to be suffering in order to get to that place, to cleanse the soul purely. I guess we have a choice. We have a choice either a person burns in Gehinnom every second for the next 1,000,000 years, or he could be born here and he will not have a big desire to do Averot, and he will be a tzaddik, a holy individual, fully learning, fulfilling the mitzvot, and still be poor and suffering tremendously in this world from everybody. Either the government is running after him or whatever. What is that purpose for that? The purpose is to cleanse his soul. And as we know, suffering in this world is much better than in the next. ויש בעושי המצוות ישימו מגמת פניהם אל הטובה המעוטדת עליהם בעשייתן לבד. כי ידעו שבסיבתן תנוח עליהם הברכה והטוב. ולכוונה ההיא תעסקו בהן לעולם. Some people, as v'shalom, want to serve God only for the purpose of receiving good. ואלה חלקם בחיים וזוכים לידן גן אלוהים, and they get a portion in the right place. ואולם, לא הגיעו אל תכלית הכוונה הטובה. Regardless, these individuals didn't understand the purpose. Yes, it's good that they're serving God and they want everything good, but if that's the sole purpose, it's not good. אבל יש אשר זכו ונתן להם השם ברך לב לדעת ולהכיר במידותיו המעולות. But however, there is another group of people who elevate themselves and growing and want to get higher in true understandings of the creation and Hashem's attributes. ומתוך הכרתם התקשרו מראשי לבבם באהבתו קשר החזק והאמיץ. And they get closer and closer, elevate themselves to הקדוש ברוך הוא. עד שישימו כל כוונת הכנת גופם כדי להשלים חפץ השם יתברך, in order to completely cling to Hashem, and all their desires revolves around Hashem. לא רוב חשקם אותו, because they want to come close to him. ואל התועלת המעודד להם בעסק ההוא לא ישיתו לב. והיא המעלה הגדולה שעלו עליה האבות הקדושים הקדושה. So again, you have a person who serves Hashem only because he's going to get all the good, and he wants only good, therefore he doesn't deviate from the path. So he does good. He parash from Ra and he's doing good. Why? Because he's afraid of the punishment. So he doesn't want to get punishment. He serves Hashem just on that level. However, you want to get level to the level of the avot. Obviously, they were poresh from bad, and then they were oskim in doing good. They did more than just doing good. They wanted to elaborate and more understanding of Hashem's way, and in order to perfect their ways. You could only perfect your way, okay, by truly understanding what Hashem, the path of Hashem, and how to become holier. והרבה בניהם אחריהם זכר לכולם לברכה, וזאת היא המדרגה העליונה שאפשר לבן אדם לעלות. Even though, as we said already, Shlomo HaMelech declared the Torah, vast knowledge of the Torah, it's impossible to acquire. Impossible completely to acquire.
Did you get a haircut?
As we say in Mitzvah, Rabbi Yerel, talk about Mitzvah number 95, you should make Hashem a Beit HaMikdash. He needs a house. Hashem needs a house.
Who needs to be a
Here, Hashem needs a house. Hashem needs a house. So the Chinuch says, what is going on here? By the way, he's talking over here 20 pages, just trying to understand, trying to tell us the foundation of this mitzvah. Hopefully in Hebrew we'll have more time, because we're a little bit time, or short for time, we'll try to cover more and more. And he's telling you about the Regot. What is going on? What's the Tachlit? How is it possible? Hashem needs a house. What are we talking about here? So really, the end result, Hashem doesn't need a house. The whole thing is that Hashem wants to make good for us. As we know, the purpose of the Beit HaMikdash was, one of the elements was, the korbanot of the morning, korban tamid, was to be mechaper kol avirot we did during the night. People do avirot during the night. Ben Ishchai makes a declaration, it's impossible for a man not to spill. Even when he goes to number one, he spills a little bit, something comes out, some remnants. So we needed korban tamid in order for the world to survive, to go elevate yourself. The problem with Tumah, people don't understand. I used to run girls' schools, financially. So I come to the rich man and I say, Habibi, give me money. I need money to sustain the school. People, parents don't have money. The man would tell me, Rabbi, I only support boys' schools. I feel bad for such a person. I really feel bad for him. He doesn't understand that girls cause so much destruction. One girl. I said, one girl could to destroy 10,000 yeshiva boys. So what did you accomplish? If the entire Am Yisrael is built around girls' behavior, what do you mean, Rabbi? Very simple. I say one stupid girl could destroy 10,000 yeshiva boys. All she has to do is go to pizzeria, go in front of the yeshiva, and all she has to do is to show above her elbow a little bit. That's open. Or even worse, all she could do is wear full clothing, doesn't have to show anything, and everything is up tight. And the man looking at her could see her chest and could see her beauty. That's all she needs to do. This is a stupid girl. She could have destroyed 10,000 boys. Why? Because Tuma abbreviates. All you need is a little dot. How does a cancer grow? Cancer grows little dot. You can't even see it. One cell. All you need is one cell. You need to elevate the cell, the microscope 40 times to see the cell. That little cell could kill a person in the next 6 months. All it needs to do is just expand, catch other cells, and grow, and finished. Finished. The person is dead. That's what a woman not sneeze. I said to him, a girl that's not brought up properly and only works by a Jewish girl. If a man looks at pornographic pictures, the difference of levels of a Jewish girl and a Goyish girl, tremendous. By looking at a Jewish girl, there is so much, even more tumah comes out. People understand that. All the pornography is asur. Why? Because, she's not Jewish. Most probably she is. Because the Jewish girls are the ones that are more, have bigger Eitzara than Goyim, for sure. So, because she's commanded, they're not. The ones that are commanded, they have bigger Eitzara. So, the element is that if there's little dot of impurity, the person will go off completely. What was the Beit HaMikdash? Beit HaMikdash was to clear that little dot. Just by the fact of Korban Tamid, the Kohanim were there with purity, Leviim were there with purity singing. Am Yisrael, a portion of Jewish people came and watched the prayer service daily, in the morning and at night. The sins of the morning, the night were erased by the morning Korban Tamid. The sins of the day, the entire day, a man walks on the street and he sees Prutzah, Chas v'Shalom, he sees a not kosher girl, or he hears some tumah. Now he has that little cell in his body of tumah. Beit HaMikdash would clear him from it. That's what we needed the Beit HaMikdash for. Not that Hashem needs a house. Chas v'Shalom to think like that. Hashem doesn't need a house. What is happening? Hashem wants us to build the Beit HaMikdash to come closer to Him. Now, how do you build the Beit HaMikdash? All the rules and efforts of building the Beit HaMikdash, Rabbi says in Masechet Zvachim, page Kuf Yud Bet over there. How before by building Yerushalayim, Hayu Makrivin Korbanot Bishar Mekomotam. So there was the elevation that certain Korbanot were allowed to be brought outside of Yerushalayim. But then after the Beit HaMikdash, it was stopped, and only in Beit HaMikdash, as the Torah, the rules over there discussed. We're pressed on time, so we have to cut short a little bit. Again, Hebrew version will be a little bit longer. When do we have this mitzvah? So that's the question. According to Gemara, Masechta Megillah, it's going to be, that's what Machloket looks like. According to this mitzvah only when all the Jews are there. So that means all the Jews will be there. I heard yesterday, somebody reported that America will give a lot of money, will offer a lot of money to people, and they're going to try to get all the Jews in America to Israel. They're going to give all the Goyim, everybody gets the same amount of money. Still, it's going to be a test, but it's going to be that the Jews, obviously most Jews will take the money and run to Israel. That'll be the primary goal. So maybe that's the reason why Hashem created. Again, I just heard this it's under the table talk. in the they call them conspiracy theorists, but whatever you want, however you want to take it, and that sounds like maybe it will be what Megillah says. All the Jewish people that are in Israel, at least most of them, okay, and then they'll start building Beit HaMikdash, and only then the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt, will be sent down by Hashem. So it's a whole big discussion over there in the Gemara. I don't understand why nobody's talking about it. I'm holding by page 9 in the Megillah. Hopefully, a few more days, maybe in a month or so, we'll get to page 18. We'll discuss it more. What's the reason why the world is not talking about it today? Because l'choira, we already have the physical part of Israel, and we have the guns necessary, we have the money, the funding. We could go there and protect the land and build a Beit HaMikdash. And there's actually Kohanim. There's a yeshiva in somewhere in Beersheba that actually has a replica of Beit HaMikdash. There's a whole replica, and they're telling them, they're learning them how to do the service in the Beit HaMikdash, or the Kohanim. Okay, we'll get there one day. This mitzvah is obviously not on an individual. The mitzvah of building the Beit HaMikdash is not for everybody. When we will build the Beit HaMikdash, with Hashem's help, we will fulfill this mitzvah number 95. Mitzvah number 96. We have a prohibition to take out the poles, the staffs from the Aron. As it says in the Torah, chapter 25, pasuk 15, בטבעות הארון יהיו הבדים לא יסורו ממנו. So there's the Isur Deoraita to take out the poles. So we had Aron, and there was rings on the sides, 4 rings, 2 rings on one side, 2 rings on the other side, and they had poles carrying the Aron. Really, the poles were not carrying the Aron, as we already know, that Hashem killed Uri. Who was that? Uri? Yeah, he killed him because he thought that Aron is going to fall down from the cow's carriage. In reality, it's not true. The Aron carries its carriers, meaning the Kohanim, when they were crossing the river of Jordan, the Kohanim with Aron came to the river, and they stood in the beginning of the river, and the river stopped flowing. What did the river do? It went up. How far did it go up? It went up all the way to the Yerakia, all the way to the glass. The river just going up all the way to the glass, very high. And the Kohanim were standing there, so all the nation passed through. Once the nation passed through, the Kohanim went back. And now the water continued going. And then the miracle happened. The Aron lifted the Kohanim and crossed the Jordan, while the Jordan was full of water. So we see from there that the Aron is not carried, the other way around. The Aron carries the Kohanim. So those poles that were carrying the Aron, is prohibition to take it out from its place. ומבואר הוא שמצווה זו בכלל מצוות הנוהגות לדורות היא, שאין פירוש נוהגות לדורות שלא ייפסק מישראל מעשה אותם מצווה לעולם בשום זמן, אלא כן הוא העניין. כל מצווה שנצטווינו עליה לעשותה רק בזמן ידוע ולא יותר. Again, this mitzvah, there's a discussion, is it applicable today or not? Somebody asked me, the most unfortunate news I heard in the last 2 weeks, besides the tragedy in Israel, is, the Satan wants to hit us more. The Jews are going crazy, some people. I told them, Chas v'shalom. What's they going crazy for? The government of Italy, some government official declared they're going to return the kelim of Beit HaMikdash to the Jews. They're going to return the utensils of Beit HaMikdash to the Jews. When I heard that, I almost flushed. I was crying. I said, Chas v'shalom. What kelim? Are you crazy? Who's going to handle it? In Israel? They're going to put it in a museum? They're going to defile Hashem's name even more? Not enough? Defilement is taking place? You need more defilement? Chas v'shalom. So I told him, I prayed to Hashem, it shouldn't happen. Until we have the Beit HaMikdash, until we have purity. So now what they're going to do? They're going to get the, let's say even Aron HaKodesh they got. They're going to defile it. Just touching it. Tumah. Leave it where it is. Hashem took it away for purpose. Let it stay there. You're going to say, well, Hashem wants to give it back to us. Right, but we're not ready to take it back. A person is tamei, cannot go to Hekdesh. He cannot handle kelim of the Beit HaMikdash, and we're not befik on it, let's not touch it until the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt. וכמו כן, אזהרה דסיני, גם הצאן והבקר על יראו. So over there it says, also in the Torah tells us, כל מצוות שלא נצטווינו עליה, לעשותה רק בזמן ידוע ולא יותר. Again, the question is, when is this mitzvah is applicable? The Rabbi goes there, ושורשי המצווה, אבל כל מצווה שלא נצטווינו עליה, לזמן ידוע. אף פי שיש הפסק בזמן המין המזמנים, זה לא תנו. Alright, so this mitzvah, I guess, is going to be only when it's applicable, when we have that. Today we don't have it. But let's say if you found it, we found the aron with the badim, maybe it's asur to take it out. Okay. What's the purpose of that mitzvah? לפי שהארון משכן התורה, והיא כל עיקרנו וכבודנו. The aron, the box of where the Torah was, it's holding the Torah, which is the tablets of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that Hashem gave us. And therefore we have to be very careful with honoring that which Hashem gave us specifically. Therefore, Torah tells us we are prohibited to take out the poles from it. Again, the reason it says the purpose is that if we have to travel with the aron, that it should be all readily available, hastily, without any delay. Okay, now you're going to say the fear is that if we're not going to, we have to, let's say, travel or go to war. They're not going to be careful enough to submit the poles in it properly, and then maybe it's going to get loose, and then it's going to be causing a lot of problems, like we remember by David HaMelech. But if the aronas always have the poles prepared, never taken out, therefore you're going to weld them, I guess, put them there permanently, there will be no problems through them. ועוד טעם אחר, שכל כלי המקדש צורתן מחויבים לרמוז עניינים גדולים לעליונים, כדי שיהיה האדם נפעל לטובה מתוך מחשבתו בהן, ורצאה לטובתנו שלא תיפסד אותה הצורה, אפילו לפי שעה. Now, another reason the Rabbi says that we have this mitzvah is to understand that everything in the Beit HaMikdash, the sizes, the not just the sizes, the material used, everything, whatever the description tells us in the scriptures, its purpose is to connect to the on high and to have the structure in such a way that it completes certain tikkunim, it completes certain requirements of this world and whatever desired by Hashem in order to make good for us, as we said already before, right? So therefore, Hashem tells us that there is actually a spiritual reason why the aron has to have the poles in it forever, and the connection between the on high realms and these realms, through that will be elevated even greater. And that's one of the reasons. Hashem should give us bracha. Hopefully it's limut and Siyata Deshmaya. Again, I'm sorry that we didn't cover 40 pages in English about this limut, but again, with the mitzvot, we're not here to cover the whole. If we can, as much as we can at the time that we are allotted. But the point of this is to bring awareness. Mitzvah number 95, build the Beit HaMikdash. Mitzvah number 36 is to not take out the poles from it. And hopefully, Hashem should give us aliyah b'kedusha v'torah. Shabbat shalom.